I'm Zach. I'm an assistant director here at the Eckerd College Waterfront. I'm parallel to Ryan, who you heard earlier. Ryan's in charge of the search and rescue, whereas I'm in charge of everything recreational and educational here. So all of the sailboats, all of the windsurfers, the kayaks, the paddleboards. We also do fishing and wakeboard and some other kinds of programs that we offer for our students and somewhat into our community as well. So we have the equipment, but we also teach how to use the equipment. We're going to talk about kayak and stand-up paddleboard self-rescues. So you're out and something didn't go quite right, and how to get back, some tips, some tricks. For paddleboard rescue, so self-rescue is the category, and we'll use a paddleboard leash as a tow line. We'll use a short tow line as well as a long tow line. We'll also talk about how to get back up onto the paddleboard should you fall off, and then a similar in the kayak as well. We'll use both. So from a standing position, if you fall off the board, and we want to make sure you fall away from the board whenever you're ready. You see how much distance he's got? And then the short coiled leash isn't going to let the board float further away from that. So without the leash, and if you fall away from the dock, yep, and you know, maybe, yep, perfect. You can see how that board starts to drift away. He's still getting his bearings, and if there's any kind of wind or anything, that board is going to continually move away from that paddleboarder. That's why leashes are important. If there's waves, that paddleboard is going to start surfing down the waves, and again, it's faster than we can swim.
Am I floating like this?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, like
yep, but with your feet out behind you, not down, exactly. Because the motion, yes. Did you see how the motion was sliding up onto the board, not coming out of the water and on top of the board? We only have so much energy. We want that energy to get us on top of the board. We don't want that energy to be wasted going towards the sky. That's not going to do us any well. Yep, we're just going to take that. We're going to take that Velcro and just right around the tip of the paddle. This could be a health issue. It could be dehydration. It could be exhaustion. It could be a pulled or sprained shoulder. Or core, or just I can't do this anymore. You know, you're a marathon paddleboarder, that's fine, that's great for you. I'm not, I wanted to spend a day with you, I can't do this anymore, take me home. This is equipment that they already had. This is standard issue, normal equipment, this is nothing specialized. Yep, and go ahead and paddle just a small loop for us. And you can see how the boards track relatively well. And we can paddleboard style, we can kayak style with that paddle. We could even surf style if we needed to surf style. Excellent, that's perfect. You can start heading back this way. So you see how that can work, and it can be a way just quick and easy to get a friend back to the shore or back to the ramp, wherever you left from. If you needed to bail out of that situation, you just let your paddle go. And that's a way to disconnect. Now, for the person towing, it's not exactly an ideal situation because the leash is attached to the board. There's no way for the person towing to bail out of this situation. This is a loop of webbing. Any paddle sports store, it really doesn't matter. You can also make your own by tying a loop of line or something that you like. It's not really stretchy, it's just a solid, nice loop. Very easy to stash in a life jacket pocket and have with you. So the idea with this loop is to make a cow hitch. Rock climbers call it a girth hitch. That's okay. We just want something that's going to constrict on the end of the paddle and not go anywhere. So that's, and then the being towed is the same on the paddle. For the person on the paddleboard towing, this loop works perfect just above your knee or even at your knee because there's not a lot of pressure on this tow line, and if I need to bail out of this tow situation, very easy for me to lift my leg and the tow line goes away. So you can imagine the downward pressure, and it's not fixed to the board, so we can bail out if we need to bail out. And again, a quick and easy way to tow someone if you don't have that far to go. So now, the advantage here is if the towboat needs to let go, he lifts his leg. If the boat being towed needs to go, you let go of your paddle, and either one of you can release from that situation should it become dangerous. And if I'm towing a kayak or a paddleboard behind me, from my waist, again on my knees, because it's a rescue kind of situation, and I need to get rid of the tow for waves or whatever reason, they're gonna hurt me or drag me down, it's very easy to find this quick release and release it and now I'm free from the tow. I can be safe, I can come around, I can pick up what I need to pick up, I can do it. First step, we talked about the paddle boards maybe not all having an attachment point at the bow. A board like this is great to have a loop attached to it, so we can clip or we can tow, but let's pretend like it's a surfboard or something like that where it doesn't have that tow point, but they do have at the stern. And if I could get you to just tie that around the same loop that the leash is on, any kind of knot that's gonna stay is fine with me. What we're doing is setting up a long tow. And this is for any condition where we're going to be towing more than I'd say the distance of this creek, if there's going to be any waves or any kind of obstacles where I don't want the boards crashing into each other. So we're going to put more distance between the rescuer and the person being rescued. And this is something, it doesn't need to be set up alongside a dock. I just wanted you guys to have a really good view of what was happening here. So now that that's attached, we'll run it forward along the board. And we don't want to tow from the rear section of the board because the boards aren't meant to be towed backwards. We still want to tow it forwards. We're going to go under the board, just like that. And then we're going to take the whole bag. Hold on. I need that. And we're going to go under. And by going under, as I wrap myself in this entire thing, I'm going to hand this to you. It does go around your waist. To tighten this up, gives us a tow point on the forward end of the board, but it's fastened to the tail. Does that make sense? You see how we put that together, how we made that? I'm a little uncomfortable with how close to the tip it is. If I was doing, I'd want it more back between the sticker and where it says bounce, just so it doesn't mistakenly slide off the tip of the board. So, and you're clipped in and you found that quick release, and that line, it'll just pay out behind you. Okay, just let it go. Yep, go ahead and paddle. Now being rescued, again, you want to lay down on the board. Yeah, exactly. Less wind resistance, you're already feeling woozy, you're not, you know, could be a blood sugar thing, could be a dehydration thing, could be a hot sunshine kind of thing. And you can paddle kayak style, you can paddle, you know, however you want to go. And that tightens up, and again, now we have a long tow, and if you picture waves in this equation, right, the boards can be in step with the waves. So for any new stand-up paddleboarder or kayaker or canoeer, I really recommend first, wear your life jacket, and second, take a class. Find an ACA class or a BCU class that is going to give you the basics and teach you those tips and tricks to make paddling that much more of an enjoyable experience and not something that you're going to go and figure out the hard way on your own.